wherever you would like, and then we'll have.
Morning, and thank you for joining us live here at the Grand Staircase at Calante. To be honest with you, I never even knew this place existed until I was contacted by Kevin and started to do some research and found that it was in general proximity to Bears Ears, and with, I think, a similar notion to be able to head in that same direction, and what Bears is has established in their coalition, which I think is probably a good relationship and probably good for Mother Earth and all that are involved. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is John Naranjo. I'm also known as Tsikumupi, arrowhead that pierces the mountain. It's a sacred mountain of ours in northern New Mexico for the Tewa Pueblos and some other villages that make pilgrimages there as well. I'm also a descendant of Hopi, and I'm known as Maupaya. And this happens to be around the snake dance and when they're cradling the snakes. So in Santa Clara, my father was Badger Clan, Eatoa, and in Hopi, my mother was Pikashwan, a little corn clan. So my presentation is titled Planting Seeds of Hope, Buffalo Dance, and Chili Stew. And so I'm glad that our uncle, Dr. Cajete, was able to present before me because it sets the tone of likeness of my presentation as well. So Planting Seeds of Hope, this is a picture of my field last season, in which engaged a number of individuals ranging in ages from 4 to 65, and inviting people to come in and participate and learn was really an exciting time. Although I'm an avid farmer that have been given instruction, life lessons, as well as respect for Mother Earth and what she provides us. Planting Seeds of Hope with my presentation is geared towards our youth, engagement of our youth, Indigenous youth across the country, and how we need to continue to share a lot of these sustainable lifeways with them, including modern day issues that we're all being faced with currently. And I'll get to that here soon. One of the seeds that I'd like to share that I'm currently planting is called Free Prior Informed Consent. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this. I know that there's a number of our Indigenous brothers and sisters, leaders that really don't understand what this is about. A lot of scholars do, a lot of educated scholars are more in tune to this. My title with the National Wildlife Federation is called Free Prior Informed Consent Manager, and I work along with a colleague of mine who is stationed in the East, and I'm stationed in the West. So we're cutting the country in half. Free means free from coercion, from intimidation, manipulation towards tribes in order to do any type of work in and around their boundaries. Prior is information that should be known or given or discussed with tribes, again, prior to any, let's take, for example, extraction. A lot of the Indigenous tribes need to understand, and federal government, any private sectors need to understand that it's important to go this route. It's respectful, We're well aware of our ecosystems, our environment, and how to manage the lands. Informed consent is moving away from consultation. And so history dictates that in the past, that's all it was. Federal government coming in, oh, we'd like to speak to you about this. And that was enough for them to move on with whatever they wanted to, basically. So that's a huge move. And planting seeds, how does that relate? It's starting to help our indigenous communities understand the importance of this aspect. And it's placed now with this movement that we're starting to finally see within indigenous peoples, communities, leadership, and having more fruitful discussions with the government, with private sectors, and maybe like US Forestry, BLM. And so there's a lot of partnerships going on, co-stewardships, a lot more tribal engagement, which is, I think, in this critical juncture necessary, given all the various crises that we're being faced with, including climate crisis. We've always been able to work with climate change and adapt to that, but with this climate crisis, it's a whole new beast. So this other one, DEI, was a promising and really encouraging other form of seed. And so I'm still highly engaged with this, still believe in it. Our organization still believes in it and is still supporting us through these efforts in order to build authentic relationships with tribes and tribal partnerships across the country, which is very good. And so because of that, we have established what's called the Free Prior Informed Consent Coalition. And so there's a number of NGOs, non-government organizations that are becoming involved, private organizations that are becoming involved, and other sectors that we are starting to have these dialogues and these discussions about the importance of this, including free prior informed consent. So planting seeds in a different way, metaphorically speaking, figuratively speaking, and literally speaking, is very important that we engage in these manners and hopefully build healthy relationships and healthy communication. So with all that being said, it's defending what's important to tribes, communities, individuals, and that's tribal sovereignty and self-determination, with the emphasis on conservation. And so it's important that we start engaging in these various ways to help amplify tribal voices and engage the youth. And so now is the time to start working with our youth, continue that, and ensure that our future is in some good hands. So today, what I'd like to ask of you is to open up your hearts and minds moving forward for these next few days, for all the people that are involved in this symposium to listen and take into consideration the importance of it and how we all can come together and work together to hopefully help heal Mother Earth, maybe even ask her what she needs, literally. We move into chili stew. So why chili stew? It's another form of seed. It was a seed that was actually introduced into the pueblos, more specifically into the Tewa pueblos, villages, by way of Mexico from the Spanish. And so, as an avid farmer, this is one of the plants that I grow, and it's really grounding. And so it's found its place within our culture and tradition, especially around ceremonies, dances, gatherings, family gatherings, baptismals. I'm not Catholic. My folks left that up to me to make that determination. And so I'm hearing some of these lessons that have been learned from others. And I am proud of this distinction, being able to participate in Santa Clara and also being able to participate in Hopi. Very important. No more Tewa language than I do Hopi. But when I go out to Hopi, then it comes back to me and I'm like, okay, assimilating in a healthy way, as opposed to having to be assimilated in a negative or derogatory. So traditional ecological knowledge is information that's been handed down from generation to generation over thousands of years, like Dr. Kahete had mentioned earlier. And so it's specific to location as well. And in this particular picture, this is a hunt, which is also an opportunity for traditional ecological knowledge to be shared, not only through hunting, but through agriculture, just a variety of different ways, basket making, pottery making. So I had an opportunity to take my son on this guided hunt, and we did walk a considerable amount of time and in length and distance over some rocky slipping and sliding in the snow. And so when we finally rested, I was looking through my binoculars and I saw this guy just standing there, minding his own business. He didn't even know we were there. Tracking was important in this aspect. Listening, learning, standing there quiet, understanding your surroundings, taking in all what the environment had, the ecosystem has to share, sharing our prayers, putting our respect down in front of all the trees, the rocks, the plants, the water, especially the deer and the elk. And so on this day around Thanksgiving, he was able to harvest this elk. And I asked him, JJ, how do you feel harvesting your first bull? And he said, like $1 billion. So it's in our belief, it's how you live your life, how you are as an individual, in your heart. And so it helps extend your life. It extends the life of your family, but it also provides nourishment and respect. We utilize these animals in a variety of different ways in honor of their sacrifice, their antlers for some of the game dances, their hooves, their hides. And so instructing these individuals about that was very important. And so now he has a better understanding a lot of the aspects that go into hunting. It's just not a kill just to kill the animal. There's reasons to be respectful of it and to be understanding that when you drop something this size, then the work begins. And so there's a lot of determination, dedication, and yeah, I better hurry. This is a picture that I created around COVID-19, titled COVID Medicine Flower. As you see, the kiva steps are facing downward when they should be facing up. So in essence, our world was turned upside down for a little while. We were all put on pause. But you see the medicine flower coming up from the bottom instead of protruding from the top. Below you see ecosystem thriving. And that's what happened during COVID. But it also provided an opportunity to heal ourselves during the sickness. Food sovereignty, very important as well. Today, there's more pronounced in terms of tribal sovereignty. Food sovereignty provides food for the tribe. It does a number of things. It helps build biodiversity, good soils, minimizes transport, food security. And so Buffalo dance also is an opportunity where we had an opportunity to learn from that animal. In this instance, relationship building. Buffalo dance also is something that I was a part of, along with a good childhood friend of mine, Eddie Caboti. And so it helped me to understand the relationships that we've built over the years and the importance of it. Our Governor James Naranjo was elected this year, so important to invite him to a big meeting January of this year in front of a lot of our affiliates that are associated in each of the states across the country. So he had an opportunity to amplify his voice and share with a lot of individuals from across the country importance of relationship building and engagement with tribes, utilizing FTech, DEI, and understanding the uniqueness of tribal sovereignty. And it's a good friend of mine, Cody Osborne from Oregon, Director of Conservation Partnerships, and very instrumental in helping me understand the case that Utah State had brought against federal government with private lands or public lands, which I'm glad the Supreme Court didn't want to hear. So I think we can breathe a little sigh for now. But real important how that engagement might impact tribes in a negative regard is, I mean, a lot of organizations as well, intergenerational knowledge transfer. Again, continuity, very important. Picture of our grandkids and their produce that they planted with me back in 2021. Aging and ranges from, again, 4 to 12 in this picture. And in the background, you see pottery drawings, which were made with their grandmother, who is an avid traditional potter maker there in Santa Clara Pueblo, and one of the very few that continue to make wedding vases. So it's important for our children to engage, learn the language, understand the growing techniques and what it takes, what's involved in it, the labor part of it, and learn the life lessons in regards to that as well. This Khajitin Fetish Mountain, born on July of this past year, 2024. And Opuapovi Cloud Flower, who was born in October of 2024. So these are the ones we're leaving our legacy to, ensuring their future, giving them a chance at survival, and hoping that by the time they reach my age or half my age, at least there's maybe some better working relationship involved with everybody. Going back to DEI. So, Kuta Waha Kukwai for listening to me. I could go on and on. And maybe off to the side, I can share some more stories, more specifically about the buffalo and how that's come to me in more in an intimate way. And I wish I had more time to really share. There's a lot that goes on with that and how it influenced me to share some photos of it. And thank you. Thank you for being here. Safe travels back home. Blessings to your family, long life, healthy life, and thank you very much.